And hello, welcome back to Mind Your Business. I'm Andy G, and it's fantastic to be back. It's been a while since the last episode, and we are pretty much just cracking into spring now. So the weather is starting to warm up. Today's about 20 degrees, which is really nice for the last couple of days of August. As I say, spring is almost here. Quite windy today, so it feels a little bit chillier than it really is, but no major. So a couple of things that I want to do. As you can see, the hive is still in its winter state at the moment with the polystyrene blocks around it and the shade sail over the top, all to try and help keep it warm and keep the frost off it. But it seems that the frosts have ceased, which is good, and the weather for the next while is looking fantastic. So I think time to put together a little bit of an agenda and just do a couple of sort of pre-spring jobs, just to try and get this hive ready now for the warmer season. And I'm very happy to say that they're still pretty busy and we managed to make it through. Yes! Anyway, here's the agenda for this episode.
Quite a bit of long grass around the hive, so I need to do a bit of land clearing, and I've gone and bought myself a slasher because the lawnmower just can't handle it. On top of that as well, though, I do need to take the shade sail off. Some general sweeping and weeding around the hives, checking those varroa strips and swapping them out, also checking the frames in general, removing the feeder, and also checking that long-term weather and removing the insulation if necessary.
I have a bit of a decision to make as well, which I probably won't do if I decide to do it for at least another month. But do I split the hive? Do I take one of the boxes, put it somewhere else so that it becomes its own colony? Or do I create a nucleus, a nuke, which is a smaller box if you're not sure, which has about 4 to 5 frames in it of varying consistencies like food and brood and bits and pieces, to try and start a new colony, but not in a major hurry, if you know what I mean. Or do I just leave these 2 boxes as they are, one single hive, and just crack into a crazy summer? I've still got to make a bit of a decision on what I do around that. We'll see, we'll play it by ear anyway. Let's crack in. The bees are not going to thank me for keeping this place weed free, but it's more of a pride thing, right? I just like it to look good, and I'm happy. So it is time now to get the shade sail off, I think. You know, let a bit of sunshine get onto the hive now, especially as we're not expecting any more frost anytime soon. That's really why it's there. I honestly believe that shade sail has been absolutely instrumental for keeping this hive alive over winter. If you haven't actually watched the channel a couple of episodes ago, this spare hive here has been empty for a while, so that's why I've chucked it there, just to weigh them down. I don't need it right now. But the bees are acting a little bit confused at the moment. Oh, there's a visitor they're probably not going to welcome with open arms. But they are sort of flying around as if they're doing orientation flights again, because I mean obviously it looks a lot different to them than it has done. And as I say, a lot of these bees are new since the last time I checked the hive, so to them it's going to be very odd. I'm really interested to see what they're going to do about the bumblebee. Not a lot apparently. Here's a little tip for you, which I only sort of learnt recently, which I think is quite a cool tip. And when I say I learned it, it's not my idea. But wearing a cap underneath your veil keeps it off your face and keeps it nice and sturdy. There you go. I'll give the smoker a blast as well today. Bees haven't really bothered me too much yet, but see, I don't know what the temperament's going to be when I'm in there, so I'll just err on the side of caution and just be ready with it. I've got a feeling there's going to be a fair bit of condensation underneath this lid, which there is. Lucky I brought a towel. There's the feeder, dry as a bone. A couple of bees in there, sadly. So the centre of this is pretty well stuck down, so there's going to be a bit of comb around it. Feel it now. And there is, not a lot, but there is. It's looking pretty good in there. I can already see there's heaps and heaps of honey stores from the feed I've been giving them. So nothing on there at all, but you don't expect a lot of comb building at this time of year. So some good honey stores there. That's no doubt from feeding them. And I'm going to change out these varroa strips as well, put some new ones in. So it's another big food frame now. It's well stuck in there. That's a nice heavy one. So absolutely chock-a-block full of food, that. All that honey. So all this honey is for them. Take out this varroa strip. Now with all this food up here, I wouldn't expect to see the queen because there's no brood yet. So these bees are well and truly sussed. Interesting pattern there. They're very chill actually. Another heavy food frame. Looks great. So the varroa strips that I've got up here are not really necessary now because there's no brood. That is just primarily a food box. So they've taken from the feeder and they've just stored it all down here. So that's really, really good. So I don't need to be feeding them anymore. Especially as hopefully soon we get a bit of a nectar flow going. There's a lot of pollen coming in at the moment, which the brood feeds off. And the nectar flow and the pollen flow here in New Zealand doesn't really match up too well, so hopefully there'll be a nectar flow soon. But they've got enough now until that nectar flow does kick in. And then we've got a couple of empty frames at this end. So put all these back and then we'll go into the bottom box. You can smell the propolis, it's incredible. So we'll find some brood in this bottom box and we should also find the queen as well. When you do your checks though, it's not always imperative to find the queen because if you see fresh eggs and brood etc, you know she's still there. Or mainly fresh eggs anyway. A little bit of food stored in that one. More food in that one. There's a lot of food in here and I'm not seeing a heck of a lot of brood yet. We'll find brood in here if there is any. Which I hope there is. Okay. So we are starting to see some brood now. Although it's a very dark colour. There's the queen. She's still going hard. She is right there. So that's really good to see her. And on this side there's more brood. Bit more brood on that side as well. There's a couple of drone cells in there. So I know that there's drone brood in here. Drone are the males. And I know there's drone brood in here because the drone brood are these ones here, which are more elevated. So they're more bulbous than standard female brood. There's a bit more honey on that one. There is a bit more brood as well. But a good number of bees. So I'm really, really happy with how this hive is looking. So I'm happy. There's heaps of room there for the queen when she starts to lay again, so that's really, really good. So I think I can safely say that at this stage I'm definitely not happy with making any form of split, because there's no need. And this colony looks incredible. I'm so happy. So happy. And they don't seem that bothered about me being here either, which is great. So I'm going to throw in some new varroa strips. So there we go. Right, so we'll put the other box back on top and we'll leave them to it. So there you have it, the hive is officially de-wintered. I'm really happy with what I saw in there too. There's brood, heaps of food, so there's no need to feed them anymore. Especially since we're not too far away now from the nectar flow. Heaps of pollen coming in though, and no doubt soon the queen will start to lay again. Ooh. Sorry, wasp. And then yeah, we'll get into a pretty solid summer, so I'm very happy with that. Remove the feeder. Might keep the entrance reducer on for just a little bit longer, but plenty of space in there for the queen to start laying some eggs when she starts ramping things up again. But as I say, there are no plans right now to make any form of split whatsoever. It's not necessary. And I think that could only be a good thing, because now I've got a nice strong hive with 2 brood boxes, albeit more food than anything in there. But they're going into spring really strong. And then come the end of March, start of April, then hopefully we'll have a good honey harvest on top of enough for them to keep for themselves too. So yeah, we're in a good place this time. So thanks again for watching Mind Your Business, and I'll leave you with this: a bee in its absolute element. Catch you next time.